Story 1. My girlfriend's missing brother showed up at my work and told me everything. I, 29M, have been dating Emily, 27F, for a little over 2 years. She's smart, kind, insanely driven, and the kind of person that everyone instantly warms up to. We met at a networking event and hit it off immediately. I was the awkward finance guy, she was the confident marketing manager who made me laugh through my drink. We moved in together a year ago and things were comfortable, stable. But there was always one thing she didn't talk about: her family. From early on, Emily made it clear she was estranged from them. She said her parents were strict, emotionally distant, and that she had no contact with her only sibling, a brother named James. Anytime I asked why, she'd shut down. She told me it was too personal, and that he had betrayed her in ways I wouldn't understand. I didn't press. We all have history, right? Fast forward to last month. I was at work. I manage operations at a logistics company, when the front desk called to say a guy was here asking for me. That's weird. I wasn't expecting anyone. I walk to the lobby and this tall guy, maybe mid-30s, is standing there holding a backpack and looking tired. Like, emotionally drained. He asked, "Are you dating Emily?" My gut instantly tensed. I said yes, and asked who he was. "I'm James, her brother." He pulls out his phone and shows me a photo of the two of them, clearly siblings. Younger, happier, arms around each other. I honestly didn't know what to say. James said he'd tried reaching out to Emily multiple times. She blocked his number, his email, everything. He found out about me through mutual connections and tracked me down, not to harass her, but to warn me. Here's the story he told me. Emily grew up in a privileged but high-pressure household. Her parents were wealthy, traditional, and obsessed with appearances. James was the golden child, until he came out as gay at 20. According to him, their parents went ballistic. Cut him off financially, emotionally, the works. Emily, at the time, supported them. Not him. She called him selfish for embarrassing the family, and the two of them didn't speak for nearly 5 years. That's where Emily's version starts. She told me they had a falling out, but left out all the homophobia, the abandonment, everything. But that's not the twist. James said they reconciled briefly 2 years ago, right before Emily and I met. During that time, Emily was in serious debt from a failed business. Their parents wouldn't help her, and she was desperate to get out of it. James, who had started doing well for himself, offered to help her financially, but only if she made an effort to rebuild trust. She agreed. He gave her $30,000 to cover her debts and help her get back on her feet. And then, she ghosted him. Blocked him from everything. Changed her number. Told mutual friends he was toxic and manipulative. Claimed she wanted no more drama. James didn't want the money back. He made that clear. He said he just wanted me to know the kind of person I was building a life with. He looked me in the eyes and said, "She lies easily. And when she cuts someone out, it's surgical. I don't know what she's told you. But if she's erased me from her life like that, imagine what she could do to you." Then he left. I sat in my office for 2 hours after that, trying to process what the hell just happened. I wanted to believe there was more to the story, that it wasn't as cut and dry as James made it sound. That night, I told Emily everything. No tricks. I just said, "Your brother came to see me today." He told me his side. Her face went pale. Then red. Then she started crying. She didn't deny it. Not a single part. She said yes, James helped her. Yes, she took the money. And yes, she cut him off afterward because she felt ashamed. She said she couldn't face him after everything she said and did back when they were younger. That seeing him reminded her of the worst version of herself, and she couldn't carry that anymore. I asked her why she lied to me about it. Why she didn't tell me any of this in 2 years together. She said she didn't want me to see her differently. And, honestly, I do. Not because she made mistakes when she was younger, we all do, but because she let someone else take the fall for her guilt. She never owned it. Never made it right. She just disappeared. We haven't broken up yet. I've asked for space and she's been respectful about it. But now every conversation feels shallow. Like I'm just waiting for another blind spot in her life to punch through the walls. The worst part? James didn't seem angry. Just sad. Like a man who had already given up. I don't know what I'll do next. But I do know that trust is a quiet thing. You don't notice when it's strong, but you hear it shatter like glass. And now I can't unhear it. Story 2. My best friend secretly recorded my therapy session, and I found out during a game night. This happened 2 months ago, and I still feel physically sick when I think about it. I, 26F, had a best friend named Kara, 28F. We met in college, lived together for 3 years after graduation, and considered each other family. She was there when I had my first real breakup. I helped her through her mom's cancer treatment. We shared holidays, secrets, therapy memes, the works. I trusted her with everything. Now here's some context. I've been in therapy on and off for a while due to childhood trauma and anxiety. Last year, I found a new therapist I clicked with and started weekly in-person sessions. Kara was super supportive, always asking how things were going, encouraging me to be open, and even offering to drive me there and back on days I didn't feel safe going alone. Looking back, I can see the cracks. She'd ask oddly specific questions afterward. Like, did you talk about that thing with your mom and the scissors? Or, did your therapist say it was okay you still have nightmares? I assumed I'd mentioned those details in passing. Turns out, I hadn't. Fast forward to the game night incident. We were at a mutual friend's house with 6 to 7 people playing a card game called Most Likely To. You go around drawing cards like Most Likely to Die in a Cult or Most Likely to Ghost Their Therapist. It's funny, usually. Then someone, Kara, pulled a custom card she added for fun. It said, most likely to lie to their therapist about their dreams. Everyone laughed awkwardly. Then Kara smirked and said, I mean, should we just ask my name? My heart dropped. I stared at her and said, what? She said, oh come on, it's just a joke. You literally said last week you still pretend not to remember the scissors dream. Silence. That was not something I ever told her. Not even vaguely. It was from a private session, one that happened 2 days prior, when she hadn't even been home. I asked her, flat out, how do you know that? She froze. Then tried to play it off. You told me. You must have. Maybe during that long drive. But I hadn't. And I knew that. So I left the game early. When I got home, I tore the apartment apart. Something wasn't sitting right. I checked everything in my room, my bags, my coat pockets. Nothing. Then I went to the shared hallway closet, where we keep cleaning supplies and random boxes. Tucked inside a bag of seasonal clothes I hadn't touched in over a year, I found it, tiny, powered-on voice recorder. It was one of those spy-looking ones, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, just internal memory and a mic. I nearly dropped it. I played it. There were at least 4 recordings. All of them from my therapy sessions. All of them taken from my jacket pocket. I recognized the muffled zippers, the walk down the sidewalk, the voice of my therapist echoing in her small office. I felt like I was going to throw up. I confronted Kara immediately. She denied it, then started crying, then flipped it and said she was just trying to protect me. That she worried I was being manipulated by therapy. That she needed to know what I was saying about her. Let that sink in. She bugged my coat, recorded me talking about my trauma, and justified it by saying she thought my healing was a threat to her. I called the police. Yes, I actually filed a report. I'm not sure anything will come of it. The laws about private recording vary by state, but I wanted a paper trail. I also filed a no-contact order and moved out within a week. Since then, she's sent multiple apology letters. Some handwritten. One typed like a manifesto, where she says she did it out of love. A sister even reached out and asked me to forgive her, because she's struggling too. Let me be clear, I don't care if she was struggling. There is a line, and she sprinted across it wearing track spikes. She violated the one space in my life that felt safe. She took my worst moments, my most vulnerable memories, and turned them into party jokes. The scariest part? I think she liked having that power. I still go to therapy. I told my therapist everything. We're working through the betrayal, the trust issues, and the guilt I feel for not seeing the signs sooner. But part of me still flinches when I talk in sessions. Like I'm waiting for another invisible audience. So yeah. That's how my best friend of 6 years became my personal villain. And how a dumb card game shattered everything. Story 3. I found out my dad isn't my real dad, from a 23andMe Christmas gift. I, 24F, used to love Christmas. The food, the gifts, the family chaos, all of it. But last year, Christmas gave me something I didn't ask for, an identity crisis. So for Christmas 2023, my boyfriend Liam gave me a 23andMe DNA kit. It was a cute gift. We joked about it before, especially since I'm adopted, or so I thought, more on that in a second. My whole life, I believed I was 100% Irish. My parents, both redheads with freckles, made a big deal about heritage. My dad even named our dog Guinness. So I took the test. Spit in the tube. Forgot about it. Fast forward to mid-January. I get the results email. I click in, expecting it to say something like 98% Irish, 2% Viking. Instead, 52% Ashkenazi Jewish, 48% Eastern European. My first reaction was, maybe it was a glitch. Maybe I misread it. I refreshed. I logged out. I reloaded. Nope. Not Irish. At all. I called Liam, laughing at first. Babe, I think they switched my test. But he pointed out that 23andMe doesn't make that kind of mistake often. Then I saw the DNA relatives tab. There, at the top, was someone named Michael S., 50% shared DNA, predicted, father. Not my dad. I sat there staring at the screen, hearing blood rush in my ears. This was not an adoption situation. I grew up with both of my parents, my mom and dad. Same house. Same last name. No secrecy. No clues. And suddenly, this Michael guy was showing up in my results as a biological parent. I googled him. He's a dentist. Lives 3 states over. Never heard his name in my life. I didn't say anything to my parents for a few days. I just watched them. My dad telling bad jokes at dinner. My mom humming while she folded laundry. Everything felt weirdly fake. I finally confronted my mom first. Just her. I said, so, I got my DNA results back. And apparently I'm not Irish. Or your husband's daughter. She froze. Then sat down. And said, we knew this day might come. Cue complete emotional detachment from reality. She admitted it. When she was 25, she had a brief affair while she and my dad were on a break, apparently very Ross and Rachel style. She found out she was pregnant right around the time they got back together. She told him the baby was his. They got married. Raised me. Pretended. Here's the worst part. My dad knew the whole time. He found out when I was 6 months old, after overhearing my mom talking to her sister. She begged him to stay. Said she loved him, that it was a mistake, that he was still my real dad. And he agreed. He loved me. He raised me. But now, I feel like I don't even know what real means anymore. I asked her why they never told me. She said it never felt like the right time. That they thought I'd figure it out when I was older, like it was some optional side quest to my life story. I left that night. My dad came by the next day. He hugged me, said I was still his daughter, no matter what. He was crying. I've never seen him cry. He said he made peace with it years ago. That loving me was never hard, but knowing he was living a lie every day was. I told him I needed space. Then I did something probably a lot of people would advise against. I messaged Michael. I told him who I was. Sent a screenshot of the DNA result. Explained the situation. I expected anger, maybe denial. Instead, he responded, I always suspected. Your mom and I only met a few times, but I wondered. I'm here if you want to talk. We had a phone call 2 days later. He was calm. Kind. Said he never married. No kids. Said he didn't want to disrupt my life, but he was open to whatever relationship I was comfortable with. Now I have 2 fathers, one who raised me, and one who gave me half my DNA, but neither of them feels entirely real anymore. Liam's been supportive, but even he said, it's like your life turned into a Netflix series. He's not wrong. I've stopped calling it a Christmas gift. I now call it the catalyst. I still see my parents, mostly separately. My mom keeps trying to act like nothing happened. My dad's been more honest. More open. And me. I'm still figuring out who the hell I am, and who I want to be now that the mask has dropped.